All right, welcome. And now we're going to do some examples here of using the square root property. So if we look at A, we've got x squared equals 64. So at this point we could just take the square root of both sides. And if we do that, we take the square root of x squared and the square root of 64. And that gives us what? X is equal to plus or minus 8. And so that's the solution set, right? So that means our solution set is plus or minus 8. Also remember that's two solutions. So either 8, positive 8 or negative 8. Okay. Now let's look at this one here. Now in this case here, what we want to do is we want to get a square on one side, and we don't really, the other side doesn't matter, but we want to get the variable, the square variable, by itself, right? So we can use the square root property. Okay, so in this case here, I'm going to solve for y squared. So if I subtract 36 from both sides, I get 2y squared equals negative 36. And then if I divide both sides by 2, I get what? I get y squared equals what? 18, right? So negative 18. Okay? And so now I can take the square root of both sides, right? So I get, if I take the square root of both sides, I get y equals what? Well, plus or minus the square root of negative 18, but now we have to deal with this. Remember this, the negative 18, this is going to give us an imaginary number. So this is going to be plus or minus I times the square root of 18, which is going to give us 2 times 9, right? So we can simplify this even further. This is going to be plus or minus what? 9 is a perfect square, so that's going to give us 3, right? So just so you see it, this is going to be the square root of 2 times 9, and we can split that up. And so we're going to get plus or minus the square root of 9 is 3, so that's going to be 3i times the square root of 2. And so this is our solution, right? So plus or minus 3i times the square root of 2 is our solution. So again, we end up with two solutions. All right, so now part C. Now we have this. Now again, we have a square on one side, so let's just use the square root property on both sides. So that means we're going to get w plus 8 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 8, right? And if we subtract 3 from both sides, we get w equals negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 8, and of course we can simplify the square root of 8 even further, so w will equal negative 3 plus or minus, this can be reduced to, or simplified to 2 times 4, right? And so the square root of 4 is 2, so we get 2 root 2, and so we get, our solution is going to be negative 3 plus or minus 2 root 2. Now here's the thing, there's still two solutions here. There's negative 3 plus 2 root 2, and then there's negative 3 minus 2 root 2. Okay? Again, this is just a more concise way of writing it, but just realize that this represents two solutions, this represents two solutions, this one represents two solutions. All right. Have a great day.